Welcome back to my studio. I'm so excited to have you join me today because I'm doing something I've never done before, and it's called junk journaling. And I was so excited to try it out. I decided to play around with the idea all week, and junk journaling plays on two of my things that I'm really into, which is journaling and three things: journaling, and then really highly creative, and then three, it is 100% eco-friendly. And I know technically, the original junk journals were made of literal junk mail and just things you found around. I decided to make mine because there are no rules. I was just having fun. I made mine with all things that were in my art stash, craft stash, sewing stash. And so I decided to make one, and I'm going to put it on Poshmark or on eBay and see how it does. But I'm actually really excited because I also decided to make a second kit, I guess you could say. So all the supplies that I used to make the journal that I worked on, I just put them aside, oh, we'll take some of this, we'll put it aside so that somebody else can also make one if they like this style and they don't want the journal already made. They want to make their own. So I'm experimenting with those two concepts, and I absolutely loved making this. And so I'm playing around with the idea of this being something I can make and sell the journals, or I can put together the supplies, coordinate them and sell those. So I don't know, it's just really cool. And to me, I already had a lot of this stuff. So what I really liked, let me show you the journal. We'll just go through it, and it's really only, I think, 8 pages, or 8 times 4 is 32. So let me show you. I'm going to show you the full thing. It has this corduroy texture on the back, and I intentionally wanted pieces to peek out from the different sides. And let me show you the front. Okay, so it's got this sort of lace detail. I like this as just a decorative element there. And then I thought about tying the closure, but then I went ahead and went with a temporary closure, which is this twine, just because it had a really vintage feel. And I want the person who purchases this or who gets this, I want them to be able to customize it how they want, so very easily be able to take the pages out. So they would just untie this and everything comes out underneath. Let's go into the first page. And remember, this is my first one ever, so I'm learning. A few of my family members think I've kind of went bonkers doing this. They're like, it's just, what is it? Here's the striped fabric on the interior. And I like that I carried this element back into the first page. And I like to keep a few pockets here. I put a little, just a little handmade, oh, my hand's shaky, candy cane. And there probably is little bits of lint. This is just decorative, and this is from a vintage card. Then over here, I instead of, normally in a journal, it would say this journal belongs to, but since it's Christmas themed, I like the idea of doing a gift tag here. Even if it's just for yourself, I like that. And then I added a lot of texture. This is vintage velvet trim. And instead of saying everything what it is, I'll just tell you that a lot of my design sort of is vintage and modern. So this is wrapping paper that I had in my wrapping paper bin, and then this is vintage trim, and it's fabric. I like to mix fabric with paper is what I realized. I like the idea of this translucent mixed with the fabric. And then this is a little spot where you can tuck your writing or drawing, whatever you want to do. I left this page totally just this pretty vintage fabric so that it can be a background for whatever you want to add to it. And then the same with this one. I love vintage sheet music. I just did the torn edges and I left that one playing. I love these little faux wax seals. This came from Hobby Lobby, and then I had a lot of vintage fabrics that I sort of made a collage, and then I put this here just as a reminder that this is also a tuck spot, but it does have a little stain on it. See that? So this is a good idea for like using little bits and pieces of fabric like this. I have more of these ducks, but I don't like the idea of using more than one. I just feel like a little goes a long way, and I actually really just like this green lace fabric. I used it on a few other pages too. So this stamp and envelope are already just like pre-worn in. They're very old. I want to say from the 60s. And it's a little hiding spot to put, I mean, it's not really a hiding spot, but it's a little, what do you say, tuck spot to put your writing. And then I did glue this on. And then this is just a little, I don't know, I just like the torn page and I like that little corner, so I just added that. Pretty simple, yet I like it. Here is, if you can see that corduroy texture we have on the back of the journal, I carried that inside and added a little spot that you can tuck, and then you can tuck something here too. It seems like on this first journal I was really into just experimenting with like making lots of little spots for pockets, and I also wanted to leave it mostly blank. Here's another pocket, decorative lace, dictionary page, and all of my pages are from vintage like things that I've gotten from estate sales, thrift stores, etc. I love this little card. And then this one is kind of fun. I just added this, what they call like a flip down. And I don't really know. I've only watched like maybe 5 videos about junk journaling before I made this journal. So I don't know all of the terminology, but I like that you can kind of do whatever you want. And I added more of the vintage trims, and this is velvet, and then this is like the little ruffled one from the cover. And then this is kind of a fun page. So you just untie this, and then this folds down for journaling, and then it goes back up. And I like this little corner detail too. And then because it has that very sort of whimsical, almost childlike cover, I love the idea of carrying some of these vintage sort of classic illustrations from an old coloring book, also from a really long time ago. And I'm adding those in. And here's another one. I mean, I just think they're so cute, the little coloring pages. It just adds something, and then I really like ribbons like this, so I've started cutting them like with the little triangles there. Okay, and so then this one is a textured card, and I just like that because I feel like whoever comes in here, they may leave this and they may put something here like journaling, or leave it. And then this is a little cupcake liner that I love that for the corner. Okay, and this page, actually, it goes down like this, but then I like this illustration of the bells, and this came out of a greeting card. I have been using a lot of greeting cards, and this is a little tuck spot, and so I wanted to use this green velvet, because when I think of Christmas, I do think of velvet. It's one of my favorite winter textures, and so I just think that adds a lot to the page. And the little tinsel down here, I wanted, like I said, some to peek out, so I put some right here, and then I put some at the top here, kind of falling off the page, and I just think that's really fun. Again, I left this, but it could easily be covered up. It just has a cute little Christmas message. All right. So then, and see, this is the very middle, so then we're halfway through. This one I left pretty plain for embellishing and adding journal. Oh, I did glue this down. I keep thinking like that's a pocket. There's the other part of the cupcake liner. This is a modern, I think, like reprint or a modern print, but I really like the bunnies and how they're dressed in little outfits with the green and the red. I just carried that into this Christmas sort of theme. And then I glued down another one of the candy canes. I like the texture it adds. And then I added gingham fabric and some journaling space here underneath this little, kind of looks like a bookmark, but it's holding the paper there. And then on this side, we have another one of those little drawings. I like that that one has the grid on it, and I just sort of made a collage there. I left this plain. This one, I like the effect, so this is what it looks like. It's not fully coming across on camera, but it's the red satin underneath. It just looks really good with the green lace over it. And then this is a plain page with a tuck space, big pocket here to tuck journal cards or writing. And then on this side, I had fun with this, made it look like a present, but it's also a tuck spot. You can put anything in here like that you want. And then I added this little guy here. Oh, that's right, I forgot to show you. Let me go back. Okay, maybe we haven't gotten that far. Okay, let me go back. So I got these little gift tags from my sister who no longer needed them. And I love that on this page, it is a little bit finicky to get in there with one hand. I like that on this page with the North Pole, illustration. And then, oh, it's like getting out of the shot. Then I added this sort of plaid and stripes. I love this. This is like one of my favorites. It's so simple, yet I love that. Okay, and this one is more like classic. It has, oh, that's right. Okay, so the reindeer here, I'm going to hot glue a tiny little pom-pom, and then that will be finished. And I added the little tinsel on him and vintage plaid fabric with regular buffalo plaid wrapping paper. And then this is cute. It's like a little vintage crochet thing that I cut out, a flower that I cut out. And I really like this flower. And then we put a little spot here that you can tuck things. And then this is also a pocket. So that's that. I feel like it's crooked. Probably should have started that way. Okay. That's better. Okay. Next, another gift tag here, just showing the back of it. This is a spot that you can, oh, that's glued down. You can also tuck in here. I forgot like what I glued and what I didn't. It's kind of funny. This is just pinned, so this and this can come up. Then you have a blank music sheet here to sign on. Okay, I know I have this crooked because it's like in my way like that. Okay. Next, so we have another plaid fabric tuck area, and then this is just, it has a nice little glossiness, metallic shine to it. And then this says Merry Christmas. I like that the envelope is printed on the inside, and I just have this little figure skates in here that this also came from my sister. I like how these are textured. I'm a texture person. What about you? I definitely am. And then this is the very last page. We have one more of her gift tags here. Just to kind of, I like, here, let me use two hands. Okay, so I like how this pops out and it's blank. They're blank on the back side, so you could do whatever you wanted with them. But they're also like little reminders of this is a pocket, and I like the translucent there. And so then it has the same background. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the last page. Since this one's a little religious, I highly distressed it with coffee dye. But because like maybe not everybody's religious, I left that loose so you could just take it out if you didn't want that. And then this is little pocket. I love this vintage fabric. I was so excited to use it. I've been holding on to it because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I have a little bit more of it, but I was able to use a lot of it for this, which I really like how that turned out. And that's the end. Okay, so that's where we're at right now with the junk journaling. I think it's highly addictive. I'd be curious to know if any of you junk journal or if you consider doing something like that as a way of decompressing and just sort of like getting lost in your thoughts. I'm like completely hooked on it as of right now. And I also would like to know, and I hope that, I know it's like just me right now on the channel, but I hope in the future soon that I can hear from some of you, and I would love to hear ideas of things you would like me to try out and experiment with. And if not, just know that like I'm really into sustainable, vintage, and recirculating and getting creative with and reusing what like I find at local estates and thrift shops and charity shops and all of that. So that's it for now. Thank you so much. If anybody joined me today, I truly appreciate you supporting my new channel, and I will see you soon back in the studio.